Hello, I'm Kellene from KelleneGems, and these beautiful models are wearing some of my 2019 collection urban wear for the Sacred City Dweller. I represented 4 different cities: Atlantis, Lemuria, Telos, and Shambhala. And these lovely women are wearing the women's line for my Lemuria and Telos collection. This lovely young woman is wearing a hand-painted jacket.
How long it took you to make one?
To make the jacket, I worked at it, I think maybe 3 days of work.
No, work time is not that long. Like, when you think about it, is it a long process, or it just came to you and you just painted?
Well, a lot of times things occur to me like lightning, and then I run with the inspiration. I've been collecting vintage jackets, and I got the idea that I would paint them, but what to paint. And for the spring collection, it just seemed that.
Got it.
For the spring collection, I thought butterflies would be a beautiful representation, and there are also butterflies are symbolic for divine unions, and these women are representing half of my line, because I had men and women modeling the jewelry and coming.
Pricing point for this jacket?
This jacket would be something, if someone would want to buy it, this is a one-of-a-kind jacket, original hand painting, and I would expect to get $400 for this jacket.
Is it possible to do that type of clothing on a large scale?
Well, I feel very strongly that everything comes from my hands. And so it's a matter, if you purchase a piece of jewelry from me, it's going to have my energy in it. I'm a Reiki practitioner, so all of my gemstones are charged and infused with Reiki energy. And the stones that I select are specifically chosen for their beauty and uniqueness, as well as their energetic properties. And so it's very important to me that my company stay in my hands, and that it's my vibration that I'm putting out there and transmitting.
Okay, can you talk a little bit about what Alexa is wearing?
Yes, Alexa is wearing a beautiful jacket that I hand beaded. If you can turn around and model it. These are natural quartz crystal points that I sewed onto a vintage Levi's denim jacket and as fringe.
Okay. How would it sustain the dry cleaning and some heavy carrying? Is that something that's durable?
No, it is not durable for dry cleaning. It's a special wear item, and I would recommend spot cleaning.
Okay.
That would probably be the best.
What is the best way to take care of the jewelry of those stones? Like sometimes, they lose their shyness, and is there a particular way you can suggest the audience how they can take care of their jewelry pieces?
Well, I would suggest wearing them. Soon, the jewelry loses its luster if it isn't worn, because it picks up your vibration, and you have this life force, and you transmit to each other. The gemstones have a certain frequency that you entrain with, just like you would entrain with starting to tap your foot at hearing a drum beat. The stones have a pulse in them. It's a real frequency. And they have this perfect crystalline structure that is uncorruptible. So if you're feeling a little out of sorts or out of alignment, you can put on a sympathetic piece of crystal or jewel, and you will align with the energy vibration of that stone. I suggest for taking, because they do collect negative energy, so I do suggest cleansing the stones. I love to run my stones under water and just clear the negative energy down the drain. And then I like to recharge the stones in the moonlight. Sunlight, I feel, is a little too strong and a little too harsh. And so I love to charge my stones under the light of a full moon.
What about filming? Like right now we have our very hard light, and we're not using much gels. Like this, maybe this one has a gel, but most of the light is hard. What's the best light to film jewelry?
Well, that is a really good question. As an artist, I'm not really sure what my response is. I know that some items photograph better, like the coral, of course, is picked up in the light, and turquoise comes out. But
as an artist, do you think your jewelry could be seen, let's say, in daylight better or at nightlight better?
You know, each piece is unique. There are some pieces that are better.
Is there something good for the evening, or it's daylight in the morning outside? It's gonna look good.
I wear my jewelry to bed. I mean, there are certain specific items of jewelry that I wear and I sleep in. I think it depends on your mood. I am not a person to restrict or limit. I would say if you are feeling it, you wear it. Wear it day, wear it night. I mean, there are certain stones maybe I wouldn't wear in the bathtub, but and maybe there are certain stones that might be too delicate to sleep in. But I think that stones need to be loved and worn and enjoyed.
Okay. What is the purpose of jewelry in a practical matter? Does it help, let's say, a model wearing such a thing to get married, or it's, let's say, if it's a safety issue, let's say someone pulls on it and it breaks and you can get away. Okay, is there any practical use of jewelry in addition to just look amazing?
Yes, I think jewelry is extremely practical. In prehistoric times, once you ate and you slept in your cave and you procreated, the next thing you did was body adornment. You took that fish bone that you had just eaten or the seashell that had a hole in it, and you took a piece of seaweed and ran it through and tied it around your waist. It was the very next thing that we did outside of our bodily needs was adornment. So I think that it's an intrinsic part of being human is to adorn ourselves and let somehow convey our inner light into the outer realms. Jewelry was used by the Egyptians to cure physical ailments, mental illness, psychological issues, to help with sleep. You grind up aspirin, that's a stone. It's medicinal, it's medical. The molecules rub off onto your body and there is an exchange. Diamond is carbon. We are a carbon-based life form where it's actually diamond is alive. It's all gemstones are alive. We're all made of elements and minerals, and so are the gemstones. We're one and the same. So they're just as important to us as anything could be.
What is the best way to model jewelry as for you as a designer? You just had a show where you present your jackets and where you present your jewelry. How would you instruct your models to get attention for the jackets and for jewelry?
That was the beauty about this. My first experience in showing my line is I told the models about my concept, that they were gods and goddesses and divine counterparts walking down the runway together, and each model took that concept to heart, and they each developed their way of interrelating to each other, and they performed in a way that honored their own energies in interaction with each other and brought it to life. I think fashion is about magnetism, and jewelry is magnetic. If you have a magnetic personality, figure, actor, and you put a magnetic piece of jewelry on them, I see that you could sell anything you wanted to sell.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience? Perhaps your Instagram?
Oh, yes.
Where they can buy it?
Yes, absolutely. You can contact me on Instagram. It's Kellene Artisan, KelleneArtisan. I'm also on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, KelleneGems, one word. And I'm on Facebook also as Kellene Kulas. I have a website, www.kellenegems.com.
Okay. I'm doing my next show on the St. Patrick Day Parade on March 16th. And we're going to have quite a few models modeling during the parade in front of all the millions of people. Do you think jewelry could be sold with such a great audience? Like if you have beautiful models like wearing your jewelry, and do you think that kind of platform can move jewelry to actual sales?
Well, I would be willing to try it. I'm a risk taker, and I'm up for any kind of challenge. And why not? Like I said, I like to be limitless and formless and go where the inspiration takes me. That's how I found myself in the fashion industry. I just walked in through the back door, and I was wondering why none of the models were wearing jewelry. And so I just stepped in, and I had to rectify that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
You the talent. Next song coming along. Okay, good. So, Cut. 4, 3, 2, cue the talent.
Hello, I'm Kellene Kulas. My company is KelleneGems, and I make one-of-a-kind custom couture jewelry. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, so my jewelry is charged and infused with Reiki energy.
And you have here 2 models with you. Can you explain what they're wearing, and the jacket and the look in terms of jewelry?
Yes, absolutely. These beautiful women are wearing my 2019 spring collection urban wear for sacred city dwellers. And they're representing the divine feminine counterparts for my male and female jewelry collections and clothing collections. Alexi is wearing Shambhala. She's wearing a tabular quartz tiara, and she's wearing a very fine tiger's eye necklace and lapis necklace. She's also wearing a vintage crane Asian-style jacket that is hand-beaded. The crane is on the back, and it's hand-beaded with clear quartz crystals. Beautiful.
What
One of a
inspired
kind.
you to make that one?
Well, I saw the jacket and had to have it, and I actually started collecting vintage jackets for me to wear to events and occasions, something snappy for my professional look. But then I realized as I was doing photo shoots that I would rather outfit the models in clothing and not have them wear their street clothes. And so I started to just naturally evolve into developing a clothing line. I collaborated on my 2019 spring collection with a very long time friend that I had collaborated once before with. Her name is Leslie Nuss. We went to the Fashion Institute of Technology together, and we had done a show. She got an opportunity to create a jewelry and accessory line for Betsy Johnson, and so she brought me on board, and the two of us collaborated together, and it was a terrific experience. And so when I decided to branch out into clothing, I brought Leslie on board, and the two of us came up with the collection. And this happened to be a piece that I wanted to put in the collection, as I said, because I wanted to give the full look for the model, clothing and jewelry.
Can you explain the second jewelry?
Yes, Jessica is wearing the Atlantis collection for 2019, and she's wearing blue lace agate and amethyst and labradorite, and she's got this stunning amethyst belt on. Absolutely beautiful.
Where the attention usually goes first when the person looks at that piece? Is that goes to the belt or it's to the hands? How do you drive the eyes?
I believe that people start, because I think people look at faces first, and so I think the blue lace agate catches their eye, and then it's drawn downward to the second piece of blue lace agate, and then of course you come upon the belt. And so I think that there's a nice flow, and it's like a work of art. I mean, just designing the whole collection, bringing in, I used to be a painter. I have a bachelor degree in painting.
As a painter, always a painter.
Oh, I'm painting with gemstones, and I'm a master with color, and so knowing how to move and bring the eye, and repeated motifs, and pulling everything together. You see she's got matched bracelets in amethyst, and of course they're perfectly matched to the same color as the amethyst belt. So everything's been thought out and worked through.
It's really difficult to produce something new in jewelry. There are so many people trying that. How do you distinguish yourself from all the other jewelry designers? Is there like a particular way of saying, that's me?
Yes, I believe there is. It's beads on a string, but somehow or another in my hands there's something else that happens. And I believe because of my artistic background and training, my understanding of color and form, as well as I've worked for many years in the Diamond District of New York City, working with highest quality gemstones. And I see the layouts, and of course, and I'm a fabricator. I'm a platinum smith, and so I have worked with these materials. I've created them by hand myself, and I've studied Fabergé, Vidura, many Cartier, Tiffany's, and I understand how they construct the jewelry. And so I have a very fine jewelry approach to the jewelry. You can take a look at something and it could look like something maybe a little more beachy and casual, or you could create something like, for example, I'm wearing Colombian emerald, and it's you can create something that is of a fine quality, and the form is absolutely of the highest caliber. And you can wear that, for example, with an evening gown, but you can also then take that and dress it down and wear a t-shirt and jeans with it. Whereas if you have a more casual piece of jewelry, you wouldn't be able to bring it up to the level of wearing it with an evening gown.
What about water? Let's say it's rain, or like I'm going to have this summer 4 fashion shows in the ocean. So we're doing a fashion show on the beach, and first models are dry, and then they will be swimming in the water. How the jewelry behaves with the drops of water and underwater, when it's wet? Is there any particular, with the sun and the beach and sand, is there any particular way of presenting it properly?
Well, salt water heals, and it's a very good way to cleanse crystals, as well as your body is with salt water. And so that is quite compatible with most stones. There are some stones, like selenite, that you cannot get wet. It will start to dissolve. But I don't happen to make jewelry with selenite for that purpose. There are stones, sunlight can be rather harsh, and so there are some stones, some amethyst, some rose quartz, and there are a few other stones that could fade in the sunlight, and so I would be careful about that. But you're also going to be protecting your skin. You wear sun protection. It's the same thing. You're not going to be out in the sun baking for hours without having...
Absolutely. Like you wear a watch, and if it's metal, it's gonna get really, really hot, and stones don't have that kind of like metal feel to it. And also the a thread that's used for it also could melts, and you can lose your jewelry. So is there any particular thread that you use to make sure that it doesn't dissolve in the water, and your stones don't disappear in the ocean? But I think beautiful models and swimwear, and even dresses under the water and the swimming, I think stones jewelry gets a little bit of extra sparkle from the water, and it looks like my
Glistening.
maybe cool show. Maybe you will join us.
Well, it sounds great. I forgot.
Do you want to talk a little while you get back to your thought? I have one more question. Is there a sound to the jewelry? Because sometimes when the model walks and the jewelry, like the stones, hit each other, it has also like a clicking. Like when the model walks and the heels are click, 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 it has some kind of a beat to it,
Yes.
Like, could be sexy, could be like dangerous. So it depends like which music you if it's a jar from the shark show, or it's like a sexy walk. But does the stones have their own sound?
Yes, they absolutely do. It's quite musical. So you're creating music with your body, and your body loves it. It responds to it. It's very soothing and very healing for your body to hear that, because it's natural. It's made of minerals. And so once again, that entraining drumbeat type of an idea where it helps you to align. I think the thought that escaped me, I was thinking about the water and how pearls are so perfect. They came from the ocean and they came from the water, and how at home they are in the water. And as far as my jewelry, I've experimented with different types of wire to put them on. I don't put them on string because string degrades after a certain amount of time. I use a very, as thick as I can use, professional grade wire. Yes, it's actually a steel wire, and then it's got a nylon coating on it, and I feel more secure because there is some weight to the jewelry. I feel more secure with that. There have been times someone has suddenly snapped a necklace. That can be due to someone's personal vibration, and the necklace releases. But now I'm using this professional wire. I also create my own clasps because I want it to be easier to get on and off, as well as being secure and sturdy. And so I don't think that buying a cookie cutter clasp and putting it on a one-of-a-kind item of jewelry goes, so I've created my own clasps.
You pay attention to every detail.
Absolutely. I'm a fine artist and a fine jeweler, and so it's having that comprehensive understanding of all the mechanisms that create a high-level wearable art.
When people choose to wear jewelry and they go to the store and buy it, like what is the process? How do they select the shiniest or the biggest one, or the the most expensive or cheapest? Like what are the things that go through, since you've been so many years at the 47th Street? Like how the purpose goes with the territory.
Well, that's a very interesting thing to consider. For myself, I'm looking at the energy. I'm really actually not sure what other people are looking for, but I will tell you that a lot of people sell themselves short. They feel that they can't afford a certain item of jewelry, and if I see something, and of course I'm looking for stones and beads all the time. So I hand select all of the stones that I use. I don't purchase anything by order, sight unseen. I have to touch it with my own hands. And if there's a strand of 20, I'm going to pick the 2 best strands for myself. And I'm looking, there's a vibrance. I'm looking for the most vibrant stones, the most saturated colors, the most delicate cuts or most interesting cuts. Those are the types of things that I'm looking for. But I'm really not sure what other people are looking for.
The company De Beers, in the middle of last century, they decide that they will make people buy engagement rings. In Japan, they had no tradition to give engagement ring, or for that matter, in Eastern Europe. And after those movies with James Bond and with the Diamonds Forever and Tiffany's, all that's been funded by that company, the engagement ring became a mandatory part of many people's life. People don't get married, people don't get engaged unless there is a ring involved. And the bigger the stone, has symbolized the more love there. And there is a whole etiquette around this. Is there any particular way to build marketing campaign around jewelry that to make people, unless you have your necklace or your earrings, to going for a date, let's say, I don't know, on Valentine's Day you have to have that one as a gift.
Well, this is Alexander, I love your questions because this brings me to something that evolved from me doing this last show. One of my dear friends who attended it said, Kellene, you've reimagined what is possible for a wedding ceremony. It's And so I would really like to explode out there with the concept of items to wear for a non-traditional wedding, both in clothing and in jewelry. My clothing the jewelry and clothing.
We should expect wedding collection from you soon?
Absolutely. I was calling it, that these were divine counterparts and pairing them down the runway together. And then my friend just connected the dots. Well, obviously, you've created the whole genre of non-traditional wedding ceremonial wear, because it's absolutely statement pieces that are ceremonial, sacred god and goddess adornments. And if you're it could go for any gender, any fluctuation, any permutations, any couplings that you could imagine. And as I said before, I love to break out and not have limits and expand concepts. And so if people can envision, I don't have to wear a white dress and that crispy veil and a tux, and we can branch out of that and we can do whatever we envision, and just all of this beautiful shimmering jewelry to capture your feel, and then having it interrelate. I'm sorry that we don't have male models here, because if you saw the way please, because if you saw the way that it interrelated with each other, because there was a call and response between the male and female connections between each. They coordinated and complemented each other beautifully. And it doesn't have to be whoever has the masculine energy or more of a masculine energy, or it could be gender neutral. It can be anything. It's like you would define it.
I just filmed the Fashion Week, and it was lots of shows. And one show in particular was quite interesting because it was jewelry show, but the models didn't wear anything but jewelry, basically. So it was like a little bit of tape to cover the private parts, and it was a lot of jewelry, like basically dresses and like pants for the guys. Everything was made out of jewelry. I thought it was a quite interesting way of showing skin and jewelry. It's a big piece of jewelry.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I would love to do something like that. That's incredible.
Remind them what is your Instagram, because one of our models has to leave soon, so when we finish that segment, we're reminding the audience where they can buy that jewelry.
My Instagram is KelleneArtisan, KelleneArtisan.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm modeling male jewelry, men's jewelry, men's collection, and this is the designer next to me, Kellene. And so I have this bracelet, and I have that necklace for the guys, very masculine. And if I will step aside, let me just pull down so you can see my belt. Can you see it? I think you can see it. Let me come closer. So that's what I wear at the moment. Maybe you can explain. Oh, and that's my other arm. See how sparkly? Usually guys don't wear much sparkle stuff, but in your collection you do. Can you explain what I wear?
Yes, you're wearing from my 2019 spring collection, urban wear for sacred city dwellers. You're wearing my Atlantis Divine Male counterpart jewelry. And so I have a collection of amethyst and labradorite with some...
This lock?
Yes, and my own custom design clasps and closures, because one-of-a-kind jewelry has to have a one-of-a-kind clasp on it. And this piece up here is very unusual. It's quartz crystal that's coated with titanium to get that metallic finish on it. Kind of looks like moon rocks. And then it's combined with geodes and amethyst.
Probably that's meant to be worn on the skin rather than on a shirt.
Well, actually, for the fashion show that I just did, my collaborative partner, Leslie Nuss, and I created a dark purple shimmery shirt and then draped the jewelry on top of it. It was a collarless shirt, rather boxy shape, and had this wonderful sheen to it, and it just paired up beautifully. And then this belt here is pyrite and blue lace agate.
If someone wants to buy those kind of pieces, what are the price point?
This is quite a lot of stone, and something like this would be $1,000.
What about this piece?
That piece there would be $4,000, and the geode and amethyst piece is $300 and $400.
Okay, cool.
Bracelets are that's $200, and this is $150.
That one $150. It's on sale, guys. Take a look. And remind them, what is the Instagram?
The Instagram is KelleneArtisan, KelleneArtisan.
Can you please describe a typical male who would buy something like that?
Well, the jewelry is all about magnetism and confidence. And so usually my clients are models, actors, or musical performers. So they have a large presence, and they're seen from far away, and they draw a lot of attention to themselves. So those tend to be the types of powerful people that wear my jewelry. But the bracelets, they can be pared down and worn casually. You can practice
Is there a
yoga.
particular like a age limit, let's say 20-year-old kids or like a 60-year-old dudes? Like what is the like in terms of family guys or bachelor guys? Like who are like how do you look at them?
Well, I say that age doesn't matter, occupation doesn't matter. If you're wanting to have this peace and feel empowered, and you want to meditate with it on, practice yoga with it on, or wear it out for an evening, do so. Really, it's make it your own, empower yourself, do as you please, wear what you want.
Okay.
Life is short, so wear it.
Hopefully you have questions, and you can take a look at the Instagram and my pay attention. What else is there? I'm sure it's not the only pieces that's available on sale. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with a little bit more jewelry on me, so you can
Just
see.
a little bit.
You can see I'm much more sparkly now, and I'm gonna let the designer explain what I'm wearing and why and how it works.
Hello, I'm Kellene Kulas, and my company is KelleneGems, and Alexander is wearing my Couture 2019 collection, spring collection, urban wear for Sacred City dwellers. And he's wearing my finale piece for my Divine Masculine. It's Shambhala is the city that was represented. And he's wearing crystal, quartz crystal, tiger's eye. And I believe this is a boar's horn, a real piece of horn wrapped in silver. And then tiger's eye, and then black onyx bracelets.
Okay, it's quite heavy and it's quite musical. If I move, those things make some noise. So when you walk, you might get some music out, so people can hear you and not only see you from the distance.
You certainly will make a statement if you're wearing it.
Yes. Explain to the audience how much they can buy that one for. What this look?
This look,
Piece by piece, maybe.
piece by piece.
Like this one, the first one that you put on me. If you don't remember that, that's fine. Let's move to the next one.
Okay, I'm.
It's priceless, guys.
It's priceless.
You have to reach out on the Instagram to designer to get a pricing point on that one.
I think something like this would be 300. This one right here is going to be 500, and this with the tiger's eye and the natural horn is going to be 400.
And bracelets?
The bracelets, this bracelet is 100, and this bracelet is 200.
Okay, guys. What's the Instagram?
Kellene Artisan, KelleneArtisan.
Thank you. And we got, ladies and gentlemen, next to me is Kellene, and she's a jewelry and fashion designer. So this is our first joint production. Hopefully, we accomplished quite a few things today. We had a couple of models, and even I get a chance to model as a male model on the male jewelry collection. Take a look at those videos. Maybe you would like to consider that whether female or male collection for you. It's obviously stand out in the crowd, and if you want to be noticed
perhaps that kind of jewelry may help you. Kellene, would you please kind of explain why jewelry is important for folks to wear, and why it's needed to be a part of daily routine to have jewelry?
Jewelry has an energetic frequency, a vibration that it carries. Because of its perfect crystalline structure, that vibration is very regular and very stable. We as human beings are actually influenced and can be negatively influenced by geomagnetic waves from the earth, from computers. We're affected by pollutants. We're affected by the negative energy of people. And meditation is wonderful. Yoga is wonderful. But another tool that should be in everyone's list of resources are gemstones and minerals. They protect us from negative energy. Something like black tourmaline. I don't think I go a day without wearing black tourmaline. It is the strongest protector against negative vibrations from other people, from riding the subways.
Wow. When people touch those stones, what do they feel? Why they need to, have those stones on them? Like, is there anything that's pulls, makes people comfort them when they have those stones? Is there a particular weight to that makes a difference? My son is 5-year-old, but he loves to go on the beach and throw stones in the water. And it's a fun exercise, and we want. Sometimes he sees beautiful stones, and he brings it to my wife.
That's beautiful. Stones are like that. If you have a stone in your pocket, it's just something very soothing and comforting. You just start to rub it with your hands, and you feel calming and soothing. And it's a very self-directed and very singular thing. You're drawn to the stones that you are needing at that time. And I do mean you are needing something energetically from that stone. You're having a relationship with it. You're exchanging energy with it. You can program stones. You program crystals. They're in your computer. Your watch is run by a quartz crystal battery because of the pulse. The pulse drives the battery drives the. I'm saying it the wrong way. It's like you have a battery and a quartz crystal, and the pulse of the crystal makes the battery operate the hands of your watch.
Wow. Okay. Since it's kind of late and the week is almost over, let's remind the audience where they can buy your jewelry, since you're the only one right now wearing one. I'm no longer modeling. Where they can look? What is your Instagram?
My Instagram is KelleneArtisan, KelleneArtisan.
Ladies and gentlemen, that would be the closing for tonight production. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I would like to talk a little bit about the lighting, the set. So as you can see right now, I'm not properly light, but as we progress, I'm gonna try to do the kind of what I learned at a YouTube class with light. So we're gonna talk about the hard light, we're going to talk about soft light, we're going to talk about the different temperature, why sometimes I think there are many tutorials which light to use at which point, but there are not many kind of suggestions and advice for the YouTubers like me, which light is good in which conditions. So I'm gonna share with you, hopefully in this video, some ideas, like when I'm filming at home and I have very little space, and what kind of light I use, and what are my light choices for the filming in the conditions when I need to quickly assemble and really disassemble. So I have very limited time to set up my light. I also want to kind of see if we can talk about light temperatures, and like a one light source, or like a two light sources, or a reflection, and the advantages and disadvantages of the hard light that leaves quite a bit of shadows versus like a soft light, and how to produce more cinematic look like in a movie. So some of my videos are well lighted, and some of them are I kind of didn't pay much attention to the light, and as it comes, as I think it's, I wouldn't say not paying attention, just I did it as I feel at that moment in my heart what makes sense, and what would be the most cost effective and the quickest way to set up. So let me know if a video like that will be perhaps interesting for you, and then maybe we can go to more like diagrams and numbers, and I will explain what makes sense and what's not. Like in the class that I just recently took at YouTube Space, Rick spoke about the basically the how to light a runway, or how to light like a interview set, and how to light a different like intimate settings, and harsh lights, like advantage, disadvantage. So while for now I remember most of the stuff that I've been taught yesterday, hopefully I can put in that video all that information for you. And like we did kind of book light, and we did a couple of like a Japanese type of light, so like a bubble, so on light, like lighting the hair, and the like all kind of cool props that he used in the class. So hopefully I will have to practice in the next couple of days really hard to make all those techniques my own, because if I don't do that, I will most likely forget and go back to the original way how I light before. Maybe very little percentage of what been said will stay with me, but if I practice it, maybe I'll be able to maintain more knowledge until it's will be completely gone. Let me know if videos like that will make sense for you, and you want to watch, you would like to watch that, and then maybe we can do more tutorials, and I can bring more like experts, and they can talk about different techniques. Like the other day actually spoke with one of the photographers who kind of really owns lots of mirrorless cameras, so he kind of went on and on talking with me about the kind of benefit of this camera, benefit of that camera, and the additional kind of things that are there to make the mirrorless cameras work for you right, and especially in low light conditions. So if you want a video like that, I will invite that guy, and he would be able to talk, because he done quite a few pretty awesome weddings and events using those. I think that's it for this video, and subscribe and comment, so then I make understand that this video makes sense and needs to be published more. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video I will talk a little bit about the St. Patrick Day parade. I think that kind of it's important to kind of go over logistics, and people think it's kind of easy to film and produce a fashion show at the parade. Actually, it has quite a bit of just physical requirements. So, for example, we usually come, like St. Patrick's Day is not as busy as Macy's or Halloween and other parades, but it's still 2 million people come in for the parade, and the best spots are taken quite quickly. So instead of like coming 4 o'clock in the morning, we're probably gonna be there by 8 o'clock in the morning, and even though parade starts at 11, to get good spots. So we're gonna be by the Apple store probably, and we have kind of a meeting place for all the models, all the designers, all the sponsors, and we'll have so we're not gonna walk in this one, but what we will do, we will have all the creams, all the bands, all the colleges, all the schools will walk in front of us, and all the media will be close by, so we'll have a pretty good light and a pretty good performance spot. As far as one of the main challenges that we face is if you, let's say, need to go to a bathroom and you leave your spot, you're most likely not gonna get it. So we have those portable toilets and like pumpers and all kind of preps. We like some models don't drink, so we don't have to go too much, and some folks like don't eat, so they don't have to poop during the parade and stuff. So there are kind of simplistic solutions like that, and there are more elaborate things that we do for that. So one of the things that we do, since it's going to be March 16, it's Saturday this time, not usually it's Sunday, but like a 17, but 17 is Shabbat, so they don't do it on the Sunday. What I was about to say, we'll have a few sponsors. So usually people drink on St. Patrick's Day, so the beer companies, liquor companies, even juice and water, and we can probably have some product placement for our models, and we can write what we do. Sometimes, as you see, like we write on the forehead the Instagram name, or the like on the chest, or like in different parts of the body, so where it brings attention. So we might do some face paint and body paint, that kind of stuff. Depends again on the weather, whether it's rain or shine. The parades is not canceled, so it's kind of we need to go with the weather and see what this weather will bring to us. That's about this one. So if you guys wants to join, by all means, consider it. And we have a pretty cool crew. So it's we will have pictures and videos of you as if you come as a model in front of all the bands and the parade. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. And Victoria is coming from Atlanta, so she will do the interview and live feed for the YouTube channel. So we'll have commentator on standby to proceed further. What else? Like I said, reach out, comment, write to us, and maybe you can join if you have a product to promote, or as a model, or like if you want. Like we need basically more of everything, whether more models, more makeup people, more hair, more stylists, more photographers, videographers. It's a huge space, so like everybody can film for themselves, but produce their own content. But as a group, when we come together, everybody, let's say if you need to do something and step aside, and we watch for your bag or clothes, or like a phone, or help it charge phones to each other. Like there are kind of, if I wouldn't say safety in the numbers, but it's more like a support when it's a unknown crew. And with the folks, like whenever I go with Akaneli, he been doing this for so many years, so he knows all in and outs, like, of different situation. What do you do in this case? What do you do in that case? So I think there is quite a bit of things that Akaneli can help, and everybody, and we can also help him, of course. If you're interested to participate or collaborate with us on those, it's still time. Still time to ship the items to New York for the parade, and still time to join and figure out all the logistics. Let us know if you're interested. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video I want to talk about the new political show that I'm planning to do with a couple of friends of mine. Basically, we want to interview local politicians and the politicians who are kind of trying to join the race, and new people who are not politicians yet, but would like to have a piece of political life in our country. So I think it could be an interesting show. If you know someone who wants to join political arena, we would be interested to talk to them. If you want to come aboard and film with us, by all means, we have more room, if it makes sense, for you to join the crew. Next, we plan, as far as distribution, it's usually goes on Break TV, and it goes on the YouTube, and if it's a success, then we can look at the more elaborate distribution of the video. We're not looking for anything extreme, and that's not going to be able to kind of resonate with mainstream folks. So we don't want to embarrass anybody, and we're not looking for trouble. So it has to be like whether Democrats or Republicans, has to be fair to all kind of political views, and just plain and soft and equal to a different view. So I'm not looking to do a surprise or embarrass anybody at any point. We think that that could be an interesting show. If you want to join the crew and participate, by all means, we'll be glad to have more members on our team. Thank you. And of course, subscribe for the YouTube channel so you can see next episode, once we post the episodes, so you can see them. Thank you. Can I ask, what is your name?
My name is Jessica Zamora.
And you're from Mexico.
Yes.
Why do you model?
I don't understand the question.
Why do you like to model? Why do you want to be a model?
Like model? I don't know. Everything is fashion.
You like fashion?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think it's very interesting.
May I ask, what do you do for a living? Do you work? Do you have a job?
I student at college. I have new in town. I have it 2 months here in North America.
1 month?
Yeah, 2 months.
2 months.
Almost a month.
What do you study?
Here in New York.
Yes. English?
Yes.
What do you do back home in Mexico?
I student the university, but I change it here to.
But studying for what? Study languages, doctors, lawyers?
No, I want to criminal justice.
Criminal justice. Hold a second. See, okay, I don't know who this is. So, okay. Why do you want to be a modeling geek? What do you get out of it? Is it fun?
No, I think it's very interesting, and I'm scared to, something new in my life. Maybe I apply for other thing.
Okay, cool.
Do you have Instagram?
Yes,
Tell them, what is it?
Jesse NYMX.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you considering to look at the new models from Mexico, maybe you can pay attention to Jessie's Instagram and maybe you'll collaborate with her. Thank you. Okay, guys, in this video, I want to talk about aftermath of the Fashion Week. So, a couple of ideas that I picked when I was filming is number one, it's basically some producers collaborate with each other. For example, I saw producers of the Manhattan Fashion Week booking the space first, right, for a couple of hours, and then the producer of the Couture Fashion Week booked the same space but already for the full day and like 3-4 days basically. And what happened is I coming to film Couture Fashion Week, and all of a sudden Couture Fashion Week stops and starts Manhattan Fashion Week. So they had like 4 or 5 designers of Manhattan Fashion Week, and then it goes back to the Couture Fashion Week. So I thought that was a pretty cool way of collaborating for the producers of different fashion shows. So if a producer doesn't have a budget to book the huge hotel, huge venue, and for the like a full day or for a week, it might make sense for a couple of producers to collaborate and book a couple of hours or a couple of days. That way the group power works. Another thing that I have found during the Fashion Week this season, that many designers are not only doing just one show with one Fashion Week, but they're doing multiple shows during the Fashion Week with the different venues. What I mean by this, I was filming at the Art Heart Fashion Week, and the Carlos, Santiago, and the Dai, and a couple of other designers. Guess what? A few days later, I was filming in the at the Umplitz Fashion Week, and the same designers show, if not the same, but different collections. So it was basically kind of extension. So I realized that designers, let's say they come from Mexico, from Peru, from other countries or other cities to New York, and they come for, it doesn't make sense to come just for one show. It makes sense to, instead of putting the budget in one big show, they just doing a number of kind of smaller shows, and that way they can appeal to broader market, and they can appeal to like show more collections. So let's say on one show they would show like a shoe collection, next and the other show they would show dresses or like extension of a line. So and they test what works, what's not. So it makes sense to when I look for new designers to do my show at Brick and at YouTube Space and other venues where I film, it makes sense to already look at the designers who are doing Fashion Week somewhere, and then do a piece elsewhere. And the next finding that I saw was related towards the universities and the colleges of fashion. Like here in New York, we have Parsons School of Fashion, we have FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology, and so many other colleges. Pretty much every college, whether it's NYU or like a Baruch, has something to do with the fashion. And when I was filming at the Art Heart, I noticed that there are different schools, like let's say London School of Fashion and Delhi School of Fashion, from different colleges, from different countries. They brought like designers. Those guys had maybe 3, 4, 5 dresses each designer, but they would bring like the whole bunch of designers. Just give me a second. Maybe like 12 20 designers, and the professors will come, and the like a dean and the whole department. So when it's sponsored by the tuition, by the school, it makes it much more legit, and it's easier to work with. So I figured out, and I start to reach out to a variety of colleges around the world that are in fashion. Not only it starts to give me like volunteers and the partners to work with, but there are also designers that from those schools, and like I said, in great numbers. They have power and they have budgets to book the studios, and because if it's like 20 different designers, first of all, they know each other. So when I was filming the show, let's say from a School of London fashion, or a School of fashion in India, they kind of make their collections cohesive, so it's all looked like one big show, even though it was different designers. But since they all went to the same class, and they all friends, and they knew each other, it was kind of a one big show, and they was well organized with their teachers and parents, and it came pretty much more manageable than just each designer from you look for one person at a time. So that's a few ideas of the aftermath of the fashion week that I kind of noticed that I haven't thought about in the previous fashion weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, if you see a need and need clarification, by all means, please comment. I'd love to kind of answer and maybe make a video on the subject that you might be interested in. And subscribe so you can to my channel, so you can kind of see my next video. Hopefully it's gonna be useful. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the success of my YouTube channel in a recent year pretty much lays not only on my shoulders, but everybody who helped me. And the girl sitting next to me has not just something to do with this, but quite a lot. Alexa is not only a pretty and nice and kind person, but also if you look at my channel, the 3 most popular videos that I have Alexa in them. So whether she has a good charm or looks or whatever, but I noticed that whenever Alexa participates, whether it's a show at Skyroom or it's a show at YouTube Space or any other venue, those things tend to get searched better and get more views. So thank you for that. So you bring luck. Can you talk a little bit about your modeling experience this fashion week? Did you do any shows? How do you take now? Because you now more experience than before, and you are becoming more selective with your time. So if the show doesn't make much sense or it's not interesting, you're not doing it. And how do you go about your process now?
So, I mean, I'm not signed under an agency contract-wise, but as a freelance model, I'm just trying to go for, I guess, the best shows that will give me more exposure, better networking opportunities. I didn't walk this fashion week, but
okay.
Yeah, no, I did a promotional shoot for Saks Fifth, and yeah, I mean, we'll see from there.
Okay. So I've seen quite a few models who are quite accomplished, and they reject all this free walking on the runway, and they just prefer to stay home and get some rest and do their errands and stuff rather than just putting themselves out. So I've seen a lot of new models that doing this for the first time in their life and having fun, enjoying this. But I think the industry drastically moving towards not paying the models. If in Europe it was pay, in America it was okay, let's do exchange. We'll give you some clothes, we'll give you those perks. Nowadays they constantly evoking the new model, new faces. So I was, for example, at Blitz Fashion Week. Literally, we look at maybe 200, maybe 1,000 new models.
Mhm.
Came all over the country, Atlanta, like other countries. Like they flew on their own. They pay for the hotel. They stay in New York, and they model, and they didn't make a penny. All they get is like a couple of pictures, maybe yes, maybe no. And I have friends who filmed those fashion weeks before, and none of them usually ever come back. And next fashion week, he will have a whole bunch of new same numbers. So he consistently kind of look for new talent, and there is always a big pool of new blood coming in. And how do you compete with all that?
Well, as a model, I am very passionate about what I do, and I understand that it does take time. So, I mean, if there are gigs or if there are shows, shoots that aren't paid, I mean, I'll take it as, this is still an opportunity regardless, even if you're not getting what you necessarily are looking for out of it, you're getting something no matter what, whether it's exposure, whether it's networking, whether it's, confidence, anything. But it depends on your perspective and, where you want to go at the end of the day.
As a perspective, do you want to have fun when you're doing this? You want to feel the thrill of a runway. You want to get some pictures, just instead of sitting home and doing nothing or paying for going somewhere, coming and everybody looking at you. Like, what are the metrics? Like, how do you decide I'm gonna go to this show, but I'm not gonna go to that show? Like, what other for me, for example, if let's say I'm not getting paid, then I'm looking, okay, are they gonna advertise me? Are they gonna promote me?
Right.
Or I'm looking, okay, is there a publication coming out after this? Is it gonna be a magazine? Is it gonna be something else, like something intangible that I, instead of money, will get out of this? As a model, what kind of perks are you looking for?
Perks? Definitely, I definitely do it for the thrill. It's fun to me. It gives me a drive. But as far as picking which shows I would rather do over the other, you definitely weigh out the options. Which one has better opportunities for you? Which one will benefit you in the long run?
Like safety-wise, like where you can be,
things like that. So, you have to make a decision.
What goes into that decision? You talk to your friends, so you make your own judgment. Like how, like, I want to be kind of helpful for the audience in terms of what can we say that it gets the some help for the other models who are looking up to you, because you've been doing this for a while. You already kind of seen good and ugly, and maybe you have some suggestions for the new talent.
Advice for the new talent is you can't do everything by yourself. You definitely should open up your circle and ask for advice, see things that you can learn, because no matter how successful you are, you never stop learning. So just, for those who are much more experienced than you, then, just ask for advice. And
I have, if you remember, done quite a few shows at Skyroom. And now I kind of no longer working with the Skyroom, but I'm moved to the a different platform. I'm doing a lot of fashion shows at the parades. So I did the Thanksgiving parade, I did the Halloween parade, so look now the St. Patrick Day parade coming up. So I realized there are thousands and thousands of photographers there. There are all kind of media. There are like in St. Patrick, it's going to be 2 million people. Usually some parades have 5-6 million people just physically present there, plus millions and billions of people watching around the world. So if I have my models in the parade, even if we're standing by the barricades and we take your pictures in front of all those marching bands and cheerleaders and all the if it's a Macy's parade, big balloons, it's still kind of produce quite a bit of hold a second. much more publicity for the models and for designers, for everybody, than just little show, like whether it's a Sky Room or any other like a smaller venue, because the audience is so much bigger. Yes, it has complexity because it's cold weather, it could be rainy, it could be a long walk, on your feet, but at the same time, when you have 10, 20 beautiful models all together and you do the runway on the during the parade, it attracts so many eyeballs, a lot of attention, all the photographers, all the filmmakers, and we had cases when our models end up in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. So it's like when there are so many people taking pictures, and the best picture wins. So if you have a large group of beautiful ladies packed next to each other and they're having a great time and it's a parade, fun time, it's a great story for the media. And what we done is we also did a lot of product placement and brand marketing. So let's say we would write like a little kind of Instagram on the forehead, or we would write an Instagram, like a paid, of course, like on the chest, or let's say a model would hold a beer or like a juice or water, like some kind of product placement. So that's more. It's difficult to model in a parade, like in a traditional way, because we don't have all those lights and the stuff. But it's big lights comes from the big studios.
I've done a festival. It is a different experience.
No, festival parade is.
They are two different things, but that's the
festival-
closest to
okay,
a parade
okay.
that I've done
Okay.
publicly. It was a lot of people. It's a different attention that you have, obviously. And
What did you do at the festival? Runway walk?
runway, yeah,
Runway at the festival.
yes.
So they stopped the traffic. They made a space, and
Yeah, they had everything closed out, and then the audience would stand around, and they had the stage set up for all of us to
I
walk
see.
through, and
Oh.
yeah, it's definitely a different pressure.
Walking
50 blocks on a runway throughout Manhattan is different from like a 90 feet, like a 70 feet runway. It's a different experience because you walk through so many streets and so many people are looking. So as a model, what we did, we give up a lot of flyers, we give up a lot of business cards. So it's a lot of interviews. It's a lot of like a product, if not pushing, but I would say like shoveling it towards the audience. So at the end, designer is looking to get more views, more numbers, more sales. So I think parades is even though it's a different platform.
Yeah.
So this summer I'm planning to do a fashion show where I've submitted for a couple of permits at the Coney Island on the beach. and it's gonna be, I don't know if you know how to swim. So we're looking at decent weather. So we're looking at the swimwear and the dresses. So we want models to be dry first on the beach, like walk along the shore, and then we want models also to be wet in the water and just have you swim. So we have both looks on the garment when it's dry and when it's wet. So I think that would be interesting. Possibility, and we also start doing the shows at the non-traditional runway positions. Like I don't know if you went for the when it was Brooklyn Fashion Week, we did a show on the staircases. Have you done that one?
The
Library.
No, I wasn't a part of that one, but I was
Did you saw that show?
I was actually part of one of the designers at another location.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they did the show prior to when I was casted for.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, the designer is Annie Couture.
Hold a second. We have a designer. We are here in the studio, so just come out. I'm finishing the interview, and I'll see you in a second. I'm literally filming at the moment. Let me call you back once I'm done with this segment. that's one of the designers that are coming for the show. So hopefully, now that you see Alexi with no makeup, no hair, like regular as a human, and in the next segment, hopefully you'll see her with a beautiful jewelry and a nice beauty look. So now let's remind the audience, what is your Instagram? If they want to hire Alexa, let's tell them where they can find you, and we will look for the designer somewhere in the building.
So if you guys want to follow my Instagram, which is PDF, like the file, .ag. My Facebook is my name, Alexi Gione, ALEXIGIONNE.
Got it. Basically, let's see. Go ahead.
So how I prep myself for a very confident and bold runway walk is make sure you have very good posture, shoulders back, head straight. Make sure you're set on something that's straight ahead. Don't look any other direction. And I always start with my right foot, one in front of the other. Keep your shoulders back straight, and walk confidently. I like to pivot because I'm a little extra. But yeah, I mean, you can get creative with it. You can, stay straight. You can stay,
Is there any traits that you do usually on a runway? We take pictures on the models who are when they're standing on left feet forward, like that's the ones that standard for the runway. If you want to publish it, Vogue magazine, how do you make sure that this shot is clear?
So you definitely want to have a few poses at the end of the runway. Very strong poses, something that's memorable, because they will be taking photos as well as video and all that stuff. So,
but how do you, when you walk, actually, how do you make sure that your hands and the eyes, when you placing the left feet down, that's when you have your best look, because all the other pictures are going to be this, not used for the Vogue or Cosmopolitan. But how do you consciously thinking about this, or you practice? How do you do this?
I definitely practice. I mean, nobody has like a set runway walk unless you're like Naomi Campbell or Tyra Banks. But you just do make sure that your hands don't sway too much to the side. Just keep it straight. Make sure the garments are flowing nicely to where it's not a distraction, and keep it confident.
Okay, let's demonstrate a little walk with them. Like you want, let's let me walk in front of you and you walk towards me.
So as I said, I'll start with my right foot and just walk straight to you.
And let's. Okay, so you. Is there a difference when you walk in boots and in heels?
A big difference. These have a lot more support. Heels that have a thinner heel, you definitely have to, it gives you more flexibility, but these are a little